back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a day in the life, or kind of my daily routine as a full-time Forex trader and entrepreneur, and sharing a little bit about what my day kind of looks like and how I structure it. It may not be for everybody and you might cringe a little bit along the way, but I'm going to share a little bit of what goes into my average day and what keeps going behind the scenes here. As you can see earlier, I showed you I poured water. I actually don't drink coffee in the morning. Coffee is not really my thing. I do love caffeine though. I love Diet Coke. But coffee is not really my thing. I just drink water in the morning, kind of just hydrates me and gets me ready for the day. I've got a live session planned today. I actually am going to also be dropping one of a new video that I'm putting out on the YouTube channel today, so I kind of have some of that going. I also usually wake up and I take a look at some of what the members are saying in the chat rooms, as well as kind of just respond to general questions from people within the team. I am just looking here at the charts. It is actually October 1st. And so if you aren't familiar with what non-farm payroll is, NFP is kind of the unemployment rate for the United States, and it is a very heavily anticipated kind of news event that happens once a month, and it happens the first Friday of each month for the most part, right? So we're here on October 1st, and so we do have NFP coming up. So right now, I'm kind of sitting on my hands waiting for some swing trade opportunities that might come as a kind of result of that news. But for the time being, I am watching the charts. I'm taking a look at kind of different markets. The pound is really moving right now. We also have euro pairs selling off quite heavily. And so watching these as well as chatting about them in the VIP kind of members chat room that we offer. So this morning, pretty active chat room. You can see we've got a good number of people kind of just sharing their ideas, sharing their technical analysis. A lot of people are talking about Euro GBP right now. Everybody's watching gold. Gold actually just recently broke through some structures that we had been talking about. So we had this really bullish move on gold, and recently we've seen kind of a breakdown of that trend. So watching that closely, just something that is on my mind during the morning is when I'm trading is, what are the overall markets doing? Are the overall markets highly volatile? Or what are we seeing happen with gold? What are we seeing happening with the pound? Those highly volatile currencies will often lead kind of the rest of the macroeconomics of the world, right? So a lot of times when the pound really gets moving, you'll see the US stock market move heavily, or you'll see the euro move in kind of in tandem or in sympathy with it, right? So you have these different things going on. And so if you can kind of just get a big picture of what's going on in the market, that can help set up the rest of your day, because you can find opportunities with that. Okay, so I'm just wrapping up some of my analysis, and as you can see, as we talked about with gold, we did see kind of a recent structure break. This is something that I shared within my free Telegram group. You can see right here, this Telegram group is for free. It should be in the bio if you look down below or in the description, but you can see I just called out this kind of concept here on gold that we've been talking about, which is kind of this head and shoulders that we've been forming, right? So gold has been in this very strong uptrend. It's found rallies off of this trend line that we built. However, it recently broke through that trend line and now has broken through some structural levels. There's our neckline being broken on the head and shoulders pattern. And this is something that I just share in the free room. Of course, this is not necessarily my trades, but these are kind of just the ideas that I'm looking at. So a lot of times during my analysis phase during the morning, I'll just share my ideas with analysis group on Telegram. Okay, so it is currently 9:12 in the morning, and I just finished up doing all my analysis. I finished up kind of responding to YouTube comments and answering some of the questions in the VIP community, as well as looking for some potential trades for myself. I found a potential sell trade on Euro Canadian that I shared with the team this morning. We'll see if that one gets triggered. I put a sell limit in there. And now that I've done my analysis and now that I've kind of wrapped up what I need to do in the morning, we do have a live stream. We're going to be doing the live show as per usual at 10 a.m. So I will be going ahead and getting in the shower, getting ready for that. And I will keep you guys updated, and we'll be back for the live show. Okay, so we're about 10 minutes out from the live show. Going to be sharing some of the COT report data that I've been working on today with the team, as well as the standard kind of analysis that I do on the markets. I share kind of what's going on fundamentally with the markets, as well as some technicals, as well as some market data that myself, as well as the programming team behind the scenes, have helped to build for traders to kind of get an insight about, for example, what institutional money is doing. That's why I've developed the COT report data with my programming team behind the scenes, is so that we can get an insight. Now the COT report, if you don't know what it is, it's essentially a market report that is required in the United States for institutions with some amount of capital to report their positions once per week. And so this data comes out, but it's not very formatted. It's not very clean and easy to use. So I've been building a tool with the programming team that will be available to the public at some point for the COT data report. All right, just a couple more minutes before we go live here. Got the charts pulled up here. Usually what I'm going to do on these live shows is I stick primarily to the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the US dollar, yen, and gold, because this is kind of the major pairs in the market. So I'm looking primarily at the euro, the pound, the dollar, and the yen. And then I also like to take a look at gold because everybody wants to talk about gold, and it gives us kind of a picture of what's going on in the macro environment when it comes to the overall currency market. Hello everybody and welcome to today's market update. Taking a look at the markets here, we've got some interesting, you can see there's my sound coming in. Hello everybody, and you can see I've got my chat pulled up here on my phone. We are looking all good. How's it going, Derek? Hi, Omar, Amy, Jahaziel. Oh, sorry I messed up your name. I'm sure I messed it up. Fernando, Umar, Patel, hello guys. Shabir, hello, welcome everybody. Good to see you guys and hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to do our market analysis as per usual. It is the 10 a.m. stream. Good to see everybody tuned in here for another market update. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one, which is going to be Euro USD. And what you can see here is that price has broken through this major structure. Now, we pointed out this factor multiple times, and on last market update, or on the last stream, we talked about the fact that there's a good chance that if price breaks one way or another, that we're going to see a continued flush. And let me pull up my Epic pen here, which is literally called Epic Pen. We've got the pen pulled up here, and what we can see here is if I draw in right here, take a look at this, guys. We were talking about this zone of support here that had held twice previously, and we got price kind of chattering around this particular zone, right? And finally, we've actually seen some confirmation. We've seen continuation to the downside here on Euro USD, looking at the 4-hour chart. The question will be from here, can we see some continuation? I think that there's a pretty good chance that the euro has been very, very bearish for some time. We have a very strong trend to the downside, and any sort of pullback might be an opportunity to look for short opportunities. Okay, so we just finished up on the live stream. We had a really great day. Just over about 210 people tuned in to hang out and talk about the markets. We had a lot of great questions as well as analysis. We talked about some major zones to look out for on some of the major currency pairs, as well as just kind of fundamentally what's going on in the world. Again, we have NFP data coming out soon, or the news release coming out pretty soon this Friday, so that's something else to kind of consider and to look at. We have gold making a breakthrough on kind of a structural level resistance here in the market. We've broken through a major trend line, which hasn't been broken in quite a long time. And so that was something that we were really talking about on gold today, sharing ideas there, as well as talking about GBP USD. We talked about kind of how we are potentially, looking for buying zones as well as selling zones, and kind of ideas of where we might get involved. So we did a little bit of that today on the stream, and just kind of generally did some technical analysis as well as some fundamental analysis. Okay, so it's around 11 a.m. and you can see our updated trade here on Euro Canadian. We just got involved on the short side. Price came up into our zone here nicely, and you can see we've been falling nicely so far. Came into confluence with the 61.8% level, as well as this significant level of resistance that we pointed out in the VIP chat room, as well as kind of targeting this structural low. So we'll see if price can roll over. You can see I've got my stop, I gave it some room up here on the upside, so if price goes against me, I don't want to get whipped out something like this. A lot of times if the price is too tight, you'll have price whip you out of the trade. So looking to just see if price can roll over and get us out for a profit there. Up currently about $33 here on the trade. So you can see so far up about $35 here on the trade so far. We'll see if that can continue in our favor, and if we can come down into our take profit area there. Okay, so it is a little bit after 11:30. I'm about to walk in and get lunch here at Jersey Mike's. Usually if I go out to lunch, I like to go out to lunch earlier. Usually I'll meet somebody for lunch or just find somewhere quiet. But I like to go to lunch at around 11:30 because then it kind of avoids the lunch rush hour of everybody working and coming out of the office and coming down to eat at like 12 or 12:30 or 1. So usually I'll come in and get something to eat and then be back to work or back to my apartment and scheduling out the rest of my day. Okay, so I just got back from Jersey Mike's. I got my sub. What's cool about Jersey Mike's is they actually cut the meat right in front of you, so it's like really fresh subs. So pretty excited about that. Gonna eat that. Before I made my trading channel, which has only been around for less than a year, which just absolutely blows my mind. The trading channel that I made here, sharing my ideas and research in the currency market, has only been around since like November of
2018, so less than a year to get to this point, which is absolutely wild. But anyways, what's funny is before I actually made a YouTube channel at all, I was joking around with my girlfriend and I was saying, you know, wouldn't it be cool to have a YouTube channel where I basically just tried food? You know, all those channels where they eat in front of you and they share that sort of, you know, they eat a meal in front of you and they let you know like what they think, and they give you a rating and that sort of thing. I always thought that was really fun, but unfortunately that would be really bad for my diet. I feel like I would just eat way too much. So of course it's gonna stick to trading channel content for now.
All right, and there you go, guys. You can see we did get the 2 couches here. Picked those both up for $155. Not too bad at all. I think they look really good. They're really comfortable too. You can see we added the camera, or not the camera, the picture up on the wall. I'm holding the camera, and you can see we got the plant. And this room is definitely looking better. You can hear the echoes a little bit better as well. We also did some decorating over here. You can see we get the bookshelf. We've added some books, just some trinkets and kind of decoration. I had my mom over here. She was definitely better than I was, as you can see. It looks a lot better over here. Starting to really clean up and actually look like an office and actually look like a workspace. So that's awesome. And a little update here on the Euro-Canadian trade. You can see we did get in back here and price went in our favor, but it really has come to a pretty slow kind of slow down here or cool off. You can see, I'll tell you, it's about $47 in profit right now, so not bad at all on the trade. Looking pretty good, pretty solid. I'm gonna hold it and see how the trade goes from here, and we'll come back and check it later. I still can't find a place to put the Coca-Cola thing on the wall. You can see I'm trying to put a whiteboard here so I can kind of organize my thoughts as well as, you know, what's going on in my trading and what's going in the business and all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna be hanging that up. I need to get some command strips and put that up on the wall. And you can see the Coca-Cola thing, I'm not sure, maybe it'll fit over here as well by the doorway, you can see, but I think I'm gonna find a place for that. I'm a big fan of Coca-Cola. I'll show you guys in the fridge. You can see there's my Diet Coke. I'm a big fan of Coke, and I endlessly have the debate with my mom of whether or not Diet Coke is better or if regular Coke is better. Honestly, guys, I'm not sure if either one is even better or worse than the other. I think they're both probably bad for you, but I'm a big fan of Coke, so it is what it is. Checking out my couches here. I've got both of these for $155. I'm super happy with that buy. We're going to be using this kind of area as a new way. You can see me and the fake plant hanging out here. It's going to be a good little area to do a new kind of video where I'm just talking to the camera and kind of chatting with you guys about different trading concepts. So I'm pretty excited about this corner of the room. Going to be awesome for that. And here's the thing, guys. A lot of times people, at least in my own journey, I thought that a successful trader was sitting around and looking at the charts all day long. If you guys notice, I actually only spent about 2 hours today actually looking at the markets and actually trading. Now I spent another hour kind of journaling and kind of tracking what's going on, as well as working with members and answering questions. So maybe let's say 3 hours of trading related time spent today. Now I will also be doing a little bit more trading this afternoon or this evening, so let's say 3.5 hours. I'll be looking at the swing trading side of things to look if there's anything kind of setting up for me. But for me, this is just my personal style. My personal style is not to look at the chart 8 hours a day. And in fact, 3.5 hours of trading to me in a day is actually on the high end. Today we were looking at the charts a little bit more than usual, partially due to that 1 hour session of live analysis that I did on the channel. So for me personally, it is more effective to look at the chart less. So again, when I was a new trader, my concept or my idea of what a successful trader was doing was looking at the chart for 8 hours a day minimum, right? Staring at the charts, having their face 2 inches from the computer and tracking every single movement. That for me is not how to trade. That's just my personal preference. It might be different if you're a scalper and that's how you like to trade, but for me, my edge is better on the higher time frames, looking at least at the 4 hour chart, the daily chart, and kind of catching swings in the market. And so for me to do that, sometimes it just takes me an hour of analysis, an hour of markups on the chart, and taking a look at kind of what the market is actually doing. Now I do some intraday trading stuff, but usually I don't spend all day on that either. If I see a setup, I take it without any hesitation. I know what I want to see. I know what I'm looking for in the markets. I don't double guess myself or kind of get confused about that sort of thing. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm pretty comfortable at entering when I need to enter. And when I don't need to enter, I don't take a trade. That's something that for me was very, very hard to kind of understand, right? It was very hard for me for a long time to just say, hey, if there's not a setup that actually meets my criteria, if there's not a trade here that really does seem like it has kind of an edge to it, has a good opportunity, then I'm not going to trade. Right? So there are days, and even 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days, where I don't take any trades. And that's purely because I don't take trades in my own strategy unless it meets my criteria and unless I actually see potential there. So part of my day goes towards kind of research and development. Now, even though I'm not trading all day, you can see this is a MyFX book account that I've currently opened. This is one of my accounts that I just kind of started fresh here. It's a $9,500 account that started at $9,400 there. You can see we've grown it so far, and this is kind of a newer strategy that I am currently testing behind the scenes and programming kind of an expert advisor to help me look for this setup. This will be something that I'll be talking more about in the future, especially if it continues to do well. You can see we did about 0.5% on the account in the first week, so not bad at all. That's a pretty good number. That's something that I think is a little bit more consistent that you can continue to do. And if you did 0.5% every single week on your account, over time, that would look really, really good. Now, of course, you're going to have better weeks than others sometimes, but again, overall, not too bad. Pretty happy with how things are going. This is just something we're working on behind the scenes. Okay, so we are taking a look at Aussie Swiss. You can see it up here on the panel that I've built for my expert advisor, and I am currently looking to get long on this currency pair, and you should see it actually get long. The robot should enter into a buy position pretty soon. But the reason for this position is I like this kind of zone of pass resistance holding potentially as support here. In fact, I don't know if this has a Fibonacci retracement that lines up nicely, but we'll see. We can see kind of within the zone of the 50% level to the 61.8. So pretty happy with this potential setup here on this particular market. Again, there goes, you can see we just got involved. Successfully opened a buy trade on Aussie Swiss. So awesome. We are long currently, and I am going to send out my trade as well as kind of any sort of information about the trade and the analysis to the VIP team now. Okay, so I just did a short little write-up here on the Discord, shared my trade and the reason for why I took the trade. You can see I do this primarily for every single trade that I do. I'll share a little bit of information about why I actually took the trade and why I'm in it. And of course, if traders like the idea within the VIP service, they can trade alongside if they agree with the trade. Let's go ahead and take a look really quick at the day trading side of things. I've got my other MetaTrader platform here. You can see up $61 currently, not bad at all on the Euro Canadian trade. And we will see how this trade ends up doing. If we can get that rollover back down to this structural level of support, we'll get out of the trade for a nice little profit there. Well guys, this has been a day in my kind of world as a full-time trader and entrepreneur. I hope you found some sort of value and found some sort of realistic kind of down-to-earth side of it. I'm not a zillionaire trader. I'm not sitting here printing money all day long. It doesn't really work like that in the currency market. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Fortunately for this video, honestly, it was nice to have a winner going on. Euro Canadian closing out pretty profitably here for the most part, so not bad at all. We also saw a swing trade, so got involved on that. You can see usually my day in terms of trading is split up in the morning and in the evening. So when I wake up, I do my analysis, I share any potential ideas I see for the short term, and then in the evenings, I look for swing trading opportunities and share my analysis with the team, of course. And in between, it kind of just varies on the day. So today I was doing some furniture shopping and kind of renovating the apartment and kind of making this place look a little bit cleaner with the help of my mom, of course, and that sort of thing, right? So that's kind of a day-to-day life for a trader and entrepreneur. It's a little bit unique. It's not the same every single day, but I generally have some sort of structure to what I do. In the evenings, after I'm done trading, usually what I'll do is I will either meet up with friends or I'll go out to dinner, or I'll cook dinner depending on what I'm doing. But for the most part, I just kind of chill in the evenings. I'll either visit with my girlfriend or I'll go see some of my friends or play video games with my buddies, whatever is kind of I want to do at the evening. That's kind of my free time, is to do whatever I want during the evening. And sometimes during lunch, I'll take an extra hour or two, if I want to play games or if I want to go to the pool, that sort of thing. That kind of is a luxury of being full-time, self-employed, is you get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Now, the thing that kind of is different from what you see on Instagram and what people aren't fully showing you is that you still have to put in a lot of time and effort.
right? I didn't sit here and do nothing all day, and although my trading didn't take up 8 hours a day, I still put time and energy into and effort into what I'm doing. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll add in some sort of session during the day where I'm doing research, where I'm back testing a strategy idea, or I'm doing a one-on-one session with a member, right? So although it's not all trading 24/7, right, there are still times or time being put in behind the scenes kind of to develop strategies, to understand the markets, and to share ideas with other people, so that sort of thing. Guys, I hope you got something out of this video. Give me a thumbs up down below if this video was helpful. This was kind of a new type of video for me, so if this was helpful to you, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.